far ahead of him. Because he has most definitely turned this into a 2-lane race here. Alright, looks like we've made it to the halfway point. Caution flag is out. And we'll be back right after some words from our sponsor.
During the First World War, big soap started taking out all the natural ingredients to make production cheaper and faster. And they replaced all the natural stuff with chemicals. Chemicals like sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, and dioxane. Chemicals linked to depression, liver damage, cancer, and low sperm count. And worst of all, dry skin. Oh, your poor balls, all dry, empty, and sad. But there's good news. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. No. Turn your shower game up to 11. With the smooth lather of gold moss or the exfoliating woodsy bliss that is pine tar, get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Alright, we're about to get formed up and back underway. No pitting allowed under this halfway caution. You can pit for tires in this series, but it's got to be under green flag conditions. No one has elected to try that yet, as we're getting ready to finish this run here. The restart order is going to be Ryan Wash in first, Ty Morosco second, Wally Wilson third, Jeff Ward fourth, Dakota Bennick 5th, Jason Taylor 6th, and Jason Anderson 7th, and we got green flag racing. Big jump by Ryan Wash. And we even got Wally Wilson, who's back in the mix now. Wally Wilson, Jeff Ward battling door by door. Ward's still using that low line that we've been seeing all night so far, as he's going to make what seems like short work of the 69. 69 now trying the same line as he was, but it is not going to work the same for him. That car got way too tight for him to pull that. Jeff Ward now running the high side. Looks like when he's not having to battle, he still kind of keeps it up there in the same spot. Ryan Wash, of course, like we were talking about, leader in that IV to go car. Just under 20 laps to go here. We've got Jeff Ward back to battling the one on the inside. They're door to door now. It looks like he might have a much better shot here this time around. As he might even get the chance to clear, and looks like the one close to that wall, if not into it. And they're back to door again. We have not seen Jeff Ward able to put the pressure on the one car like he is right now. He is all but completed this pass. He might have it not here, but the next time around, as now he's door to door with the leader. The one drives down to the bottom. We're 3 wide on exit. Jeff Ward comes out on top, it looks like. Ryan Washy's battling back from the high side. Gets the bumper in front of the nose, but he's going to have to dive it down one more time to try to clear this pass. If he can get back on the throttle. The 9 is already looking on the inside. I'm sorry, Ryan Wash is looking on the inside. The 68's now trying to pull the same move that Ward was using, but Ward is now gone. He's cleared him by at least 2 car lengths. And he is starting to roll the track here. He's running the top side now. Now the battle is back between Ryan Wash and Tom Orozco. We're fighting now for 2nd place. It looks like the 68 is going to tie in behind the 1. And leave Jason Taylor following that leader pack by just a few car lengths off. Wally Wilson's falling back to 5th. Jason Anderson holding 6th place. And Dakota Bennick still in 7th. Ten laps to go for race 2. Doesn't look like anyone has anything to challenge Ward now. It's looking as if he came in and got tires, but he did not. No one has opted for any tire changes yet, and with 9 laps to go, I don't see that being a relative thought at this point. But Jeff Ward has pulled out to about 2 car lengths of a lead in front of Ty Morosco, still in 2nd. Ryan Wash still in 3rd. Jason Taylor in 4th. Jason Anderson making it around Wally Wilson to 5th place now. Wally Wilson 6th, and Dakota Bennick in 7th. Sonny Thompson and Matt Ridgway have wrecked out of the race. So we're coming up about 6 laps to go here. Jeff Ward's still looking dominant now. The 1 car has not been able to close in anyway. He's still holding that 2 car length gap. Got some lap cars now catching up. Leaders catching up to the lap cars, rather. As it's Wally Wilson who's still dropping off big time. He's going to take the inside, allow the leaders that high groove. They have a third line up top. Well, looks like Dakota Bennick is in the wall. Oh, and clips the 9. The 9 hard into the wall. Gets spun over the top. He has destroyed that car. The 9 is destroyed. This changes up everything. Race leader out of the picture. Ty Morosco inherits the lead on that. Ryan Wash running 2nd. We're coming up to the last lap. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it was. All right, let's see here. That last lap, Ty Morosky's running 1st, Ryan Wash 2nd, Jason Taylor 3rd, Jason Anderson 4th. Jeff Ward has fallen back to 5th, still out on track. As you can see him there trying to get these laps in and finish this race. Ty Morosco is your winner. Man, what a finish. Shows you to never throw in the towel, never quit on that, because you never know what can happen. Wow, stay tuned after. We're going to get some more replays of that action. That was incredible. So that changes everything up. That win Along with bonus points is going to elevate Ty Morosco up to first in points, 28, leaving Jeff Ward 3 behind. Kyle Bowman, Zach Sprung haven't made it to either one of these races today. They're going to be 28 points back. An amazing finish. That's crazy. We're going to pull up a replay for you. But thanks for stopping by. Tune in next week and catch as we go out to the bull ring for more action in the Short Track National Tour.
I got four wheels a turning. I got it sitting in drive. I got four wheels a turning, baby. I'm headed to the racetrack. I got four wheels a turning. I got it sitting in drive. I got four wheels a turning, baby. I'm headed to the racetrack.
Bob'sHoneyDew.com. Check out those websites. They're located in Troutman, North Carolina, for all your power wash needs. This is race 3 of the Top Flight Computers series. The action will be brought to you tonight by myself.
Listen up.
Welcome to E-Racing TV, coming at you live from North Wilkesboro Speedway in beautiful, sunny North Wilkesboro, North Carolinas, nestled in the mountains of North Carolina. And North Wilkesboro is known for many things: good racing, good views, cheap concession stand, delicious hot dogs. And unfortunately, it was dropped from the schedule in 1996. We haven't seen any real racing there really ever since. But tonight, we're back. We're at North Wilkesboro. We're doing some racing and in the best cars that we could find to do it, the 1987 Cup cars. And we're here for the SESRA Classic Open race. This is the first race, the 30-minute heat race, before we move on to the Pro Invitational right after this. And right now, it'll come to no surprise to our regular viewers, but at the top of the speed charts, Jeff Ward in that number 55. He is getting around this track pretty hot. And currently sitting second, Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that number 3. Drew Ballesteros, who joined us for the first time last week, has decided he loves SESRA. He's coming back. He's with us again. He's sitting third, another impressive run for him. Mark Dudley, he is sitting fourth. And Brian McCrae, our race director and a fierce competitor, sitting in 5th position right now. And we have seen quite a bit of action so far in this qualify/practice session. A lot of drivers really trying to get a feel for these cars, trying to get around this track. It's a unique track. You may have heard of me and Jason talking about it last week. So, front stretch, you're going downhill. Back stretch, you're going uphill. The corners 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all different. The track is wide, it's narrow, it's bumpy, it's smooth. It's a little bit of everything all mashed into one 5/8 mile short track. And it's a very unique track, and it's very difficult for these drivers to kind of get a feel for it. And once Jason makes his way up to the broadcast booth, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. I don't know if you're ready, Jason, but if you are, let me know.
Yeah, I'm here ready to go, man. Didn't mean to leave you hanging there, just another beer run. We're in North Wilkesboro, so we like to kick it old school, and if you ain't got a cold beverage in your hand, you're wrong. So get up off the couch, go get you something good. We're going to have one hell of a show here tonight. This is one of my favorite racetracks. I know I'll say it's Steve's favorite racetrack, even if it isn't. This is just, it's such a crazy track, as we just saw Jason Taylor get wiped out there on the backstretch. There's going to be a lot more of that coming your way, but it's a whole different feeling racing here. These guys, it really amps them up. They drive a little bit harder. Everything's a little more fast-paced and aggressive, and it's on top of that, it's a short track. So I'm thinking these guys are really going to put some beating and banging into it, and we're all going to have a good time.
Oh, 100%. We've got more drivers joining in. We're seeing some more familiar faces, and I think we're doing something right, Jason, because we've seen a couple drivers join us for the open race maybe a couple weeks ago or several weeks ago, and they keep coming back. Drivers like Mark Dudley Jr., Studley Dudley, Corey Sherman, drivers like Derek Paulson. We've got guys who just love how this series is going, how the competition is. They love racing with these professional level drivers, and every week we put on such a great show. And I'm going to just go ahead and say, absolutely whatever Jason just said. If you're watching at home and you don't have a cold beverage in your hand, it doesn't matter what it is. It just needs to be a cold beverage. Get up and grab one real quick before we go racing. So we're going to go ahead and grid up. We've got Jeff Ward on the pole. He ran an 18.97. That's a very scorching fast lap around this track. Drew Ballesteros, he was able to swipe away that second position. He's going to start on the outside, pulling the number 22 with a 19 flat. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to start third with a slightly slower 19 flat. And then Mark Dudley going to start fourth. Brian McCrae fifth. Matt Ridgway sixth. Corey Sherman, Jason Taylor, Ty Marasco. And I think we might be able to just quickly talk to Jeff Ward. He's our pole sitter. It's always good to talk to Jeff before he races. You can never really rattle his cage, which is kind of not fun. But Jeff Ward, once again, you set a very fast lap, an 18.97 around this 5/8 mile track. You're sitting on the pole. You're starting this race up front. What are your plans?
Probably just try to keep it up here and save the tires. It's kind of a last-minute thing. I wasn't sure I was going to run because I didn't have the track, and I was like, man, I can't pass up North Wilkesboro in these cars. And so far, it's been a blast. Tried to learn the track as quick as I could and was able to put down a good time. But we got some good guys around us here.
Yeah, the front, you front three. In fact, the top 5 or 6 are all pretty close, within a couple tenths of each other. You try to keep those tires nice and cool. And I'm thinking we got quite a few drivers in this race, looking about 20 or so drivers for 30 minutes. Lap traffic definitely going to play a part. A couple weeks ago at Bristol, last week at Bristol, we saw lap traffic play a part. Are you going to be aggressive through that lap traffic, or are you going to try to bide your time?
Last week, kind of got in trouble in both races, so I'm just going to try to save the tires. Of course, I got a couple guys right here next to me that's great at saving tires with Taylor and Drew there. Drew really had a great performance last week. So, yeah, let's try to keep the fenders on it, man, and the tires under us, and see if we can't get through 50 laps in this thing.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to let you go focus on this 30-minute race, and hope probably we'll be talking to you after it in about 31 minutes. Good luck to you, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.
All right, Steve. Thanks, man.
All right, that's Jeff Ward. He is our staple competitor. He's if you watch the All-Pro Sim Racing with Brandon Wilkinson, he's kind of like the Brandon Wilkinson. We're going to have to start putting some handicaps on him so we can level this playing field, right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I think the SESRA team has tried to do that before, and it's just like with Brandon Wilkinson, it just wasn't working. You know, it takes a lot when a guy's got that much talent. You know, it takes a lot to kind of sandbag him and hold them back. But you know, he's having a good time out here, and I think he's gonna teach these guys a lot here tonight.
Well, the lights are about off the pace car. It's going to duck onto pit road. We're about to go racing for 30 minutes here at North Wilkesboro. Green flag out in the air. And Jeff Ward off to a great start. It looked like Drew Ballesteros got a decent jump, but maybe missed a shift or something. He's going to go way high in 1 and 2. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to jump in second place. Right now, Ballesteros under pressure from Brian McRae in that number 12 car. Studley Dudley is going to fall back to about 5th, and behind him you've got Corey Sherman, Matt Ridgway, and I believe that's the number 21 of Ty Marasco. But up front, those drivers going for the lead, Jeff Ward and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. But right now, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th are all on top of each other. This field very, very tight, 3rd place on back.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm watching the battle here. Drew Ballesteros, he's leading the field of Huns chasing him down here. Even Matt Ridgway, you know, he's missed out a lot of races. We saw him have a lot of speed, just not a lot of luck when we were doing the super speedway races, but looks like he's running really strong here tonight. Good for him. You know, glad to see he kind of rebounds from missing out all those races. Didn't fall too far off the horse that way.
Yeah, Jason, I think our buddy Matt Ridgway took a couple of weeks to go buy a rabbit's foot, find a 4-leaf clover. I think he's trying to get as many good luck charms in that car as possible because, like you said, he has had tremendous speed so far this season, but unfortunately he has had terrible luck. His luck has been shizen. So it's hopefully he's going to take this time, and currently running in the top 5. He's in 4th right now, so you know, maybe tonight's the night things turn around for Matt Ridgway in that number 13.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's banking on. But we already got a lead change here. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has drove around the hot dog here. I don't know if that's Jeff Ward saving tires. He's a very methodical, very planned out driver. Nothing is a surprise when it comes to Jeff Ward. So I don't know if he's just down on the speed compared to Taylor Butcher Benjamin or if he's saving tires right now.
Yeah, and Jason, just an update. I saw the number 83, that SESRA regular Nick Akier in that Lake Speed Special. He was slow on the inside. He's about a lap down now, and just a lap or so ago, the number 00 of Jonathan May. He's a newcomer. He's a rookie in this open race. He got into turn 1 just a little hot. I don't know if his brakes were fading or what, but he went in hot, and he just doored Nick Akier. The two of those drivers went around, spun out. They're continuing now, both a lap down, but unfortunate for Akier. He's always very fast, but another driver that seems to have either really good or really bad luck, never in between.
Yeah, it's hard just to have an all right day. I mean, these guys, especially the veterans who got a bunch of races in with us, it seems like they're either having a really awesome day or a really terrible day. You're right. There's no medium here.
Well, and as long as we don't talk about them too much, we've heard our commentators curse play a pivotal role in these broadcasts in the past. So If we hear any driver that's talking smack about us, let me know, and I'll just talk about him for about 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll get even with him, no problem.
Well, one guy that hasn't talked any smack about us, but I definitely want to highlight him. It's our driver from the Great White North, Brandon Feeney. He's always here. Seems like he never misses a race, always having a good time. And I know that little pub out there at the Fisher's Wharf, I know they're having a good time here tonight, taking a break from that ice fishing, watching their man work his way up to the front here.
Brandon Feeney, yeah, he is always a regular, and I got to say, Brandon is great. Marketability wise, he's always good at getting his sponsors on our broadcast, getting them some airtime, which is a great thing for a driver to do. But he also drives very smart and very clean. He usually qualifies in the middle of the field, but come the end of every race he's in the top 5 or top 10. No questions asked. He is definitely a very smooth, conservative, clean driver, and it always seems to work out for him. I think it's that Canadian mentality.
Yeah, just always here for a good time, eh?
Yeah, he doesn't want to tell anybody he's sorry. He just wants to go out there and turn some good laps.
Someone turning some good laps is Jason Taylor right now. Brought the Ford out. He's been racing the Chevy here, saying it was all about the handling. He got better handling, but now he's switching it back over, running the Ford tonight. I wonder if he was looking for some more speed, because that's the rumor. No one's confirmed it one way or the other yet. iRacing won't say anything, but everyone's saying that the Fords have a tick more speed on the top of the hands, and then the Chevy's got a little more handling. Aerodynamically, it looks like it would make sense, but until we get the official result, I'm not going to claim one way or the other, but that's definitely what the drivers are feeling, and if it's something that you feel in your gut, you're not going to change your mind on it. So it's awesome that he's playing both sides of the fence here.
Yeah, surprisingly, Jason Taylor, one of the few drivers, one of the only drivers that's really given both of these cars a fair shot throughout this season so far. We've seen him drive the Ford, we've seen him drive the Chevy, and he kind of switches back and forth depending on what track we visit. And I'm curious. I'm surprised we haven't seen more drivers try to get creative with their car selection, because, like you said, the Chevys seem to have a bit more drag, so they handle a bit better, but they don't quite slice through the air like the Ford. The Ford's definitely got a bit more aerodynamic advantage, supposedly. And you would think that we would see more drivers switching to Fords when we go to the faster track and vice versa, but really, these drivers are staying loyal to their manufacturer. Jason Taylor, really one of the only drivers, the journeyman drivers out there, really getting creative with it and just kind of, picking a car at his mood.
Yeah. And it looks like he's doing pretty good here. He's starting to work his way up. I think when we noticed him, he was about 9th, so he's working his way up. It's the 7th right now. Another car moving up is going to be Brian McRae. He's up to 4th now. He was up front. I want to say he was maybe up to 3rd. But something happened, shuffled him back, but he's been able to make a rebound.
I'll tell you what, Jason, that number 3 at Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's always been a pretty fast driver in the SESRA series, but something the past couple weeks, I don't know if it's the short track, some confidence, but Taylor Butcher Benjamin has flipped a switch inside of that car, and he has been very fast, both at Bristol last week and here so far at North Wilkesboro. He has gotten around Jeff Ward and really kind of started gapping it. He's about 1.5 seconds ahead of Jeff Ward. And to be able to put yourself in front of Jeff Ward and pull away from him says a lot about how well your car is handling and how much confidence you have as a driver.
Yeah, it's because it was just a couple races ago. Was it Bristol? Was that his first race, or was it one before that? It wasn't many, but it was. It was last week. That's when he first bought the car. And so the 2 races at Bristol were his first 2 races. This is his 3rd race. It looks like he's really figured it out.
Yeah, Taylor Butcher Benjamin really liking these 1987 cars. For our fan, sorry, we got Corey Sherman just got together with Jason Taylor in that 75 car. Jason Taylor's going to continue on, but Corey Sherman got the short end of that deal. He is riding his car right now in the grass in turns 1 and 2. That's going to it's going to shuffle some things up right now. Ty Marasco and Brandon Feeney now inside the top 10. Jason Taylor's going to drop to 9th. Dakota Bennick now running in that 10th position.
Yeah, you got to. So, real quick for everyone at home wondering why there's not a caution right now. There's different formats for these races. This first race, it used to be a timed race. Now they changed it to laps. The first race is 50 laps, no cautions. So it's just flat out, and that's the first of the heat races, we'll call it. The next race is the actual invitational. It's going to be people that are in a way kind of getting drafted by the SESRA League. And that race is going to be 80 laps, but it is going to have cautions and a little more structured of a race.
Yeah, this first race, more like an enduro race. You got a set number of laps. You go out there, but nothing's going to stop them from doing those 50 laps. No cautions, no slowdowns. So it's pedal to the metal once that green flag flies. And it really adds an element of strategy if you think about it, because you kind of want to, it's like an endurance race almost. You want to kind of stay out of trouble, do good pace, and not make a pit stop, not spin your car around, because that's going to make the difference. Drivers like Brandon Feeney, who are known for their conservative, sort of consistent driving style, really kind of falls into their lap come to the end of the race. You got other drivers spinning out, burning off their tires, maybe having to make a pit stop or two. All of a sudden you find yourself in top 5, maybe 6th or 7th place. And it's a different driving style that's kind of needed for this sort of enduro format. But as a fan and as a broadcaster, I have to say I love it.
Yeah, no, it's but at the same time, things can come back and bite you, as we just saw. Matt Ridgway, that rabbit's foot did not work out. He needs to go buy some more, pick out a new one. That was Kyle Wellman that ended up bouncing off the wall, spinning out in front of him. And Matt Ridgway, you could hear him. He was on the brakes. He had him locked up, but it did not slow down enough to get around that 9 car.
Yeah, something to consider. These cars, they're running the old style brakes. These the new the trucks, the Xfinity cars, the Cup cars, they're using state of the art brake systems. The calipers, the pistons, the pads, everything are top of the line, space age, quote unquote, braking technology. These 87 cars are using the old stuff. I think you're using probably a 2-piston brake system. They're disc brakes, but they're not going to stop the car nearly as good as some of these guys are used to. And brake fade is definitely going to start playing a role, especially at a track like this where you're carrying well over 100 miles an hour down the straightaway, but slowing down. You've got to slow that car down considerably to get around these corners. So I would say that not only is tire management going to play a factor in this race and our Pro Invitational, but I would say brake fade, brake wear, also something to consider.
Yeah, the mechanicals, I mean, it's all about keeping that car under you, and it's not just the tires. You got to take into account the damage, the aero, the brake fade, like what you're saying, the fuel mileage. You're going to have to watch that possibly in the next race. And, of course, the tires, all of that. So you're managing all of that. So we broadcasted the All-Pro Super Late Model Series here, and one thing that I'm already kind of taken away from that race is the late models, or modern late models, based on modern late models. They had the equipment to run the bottom. They had the equipment to run that fast line the whole race, pretty much. We saw a little bit changes on the line when the tires were wearing out, but as far as the race overall, they could kind of stick with that fast line. Here, 37 laps into it, we're already seeing guys really search around this track. Some guys are driving it in deep and kind of coasting that whole rest of the turn. Some guys are trying to back up the turn. Some guys are just taking the high line, like the Kyle Larson line, all the way around this track. So, these cars are really getting out of shape fast, more so than what guys are used to. And it's awesome because all of these lines are completely different. Everyone's got a different strategy right now. They're probably in survival mode, and they're trying to do whatever they can to get those few more positions before the end of this race.
I'm watching right now those lines playing a part right now for the lead. Jeff Ward has reeled in our leader, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, but lap traffic playing a serious factor. He got boxed in on the front straightaway just last lap. Lost quite a bit of ground. In fact, Kyle Wellman in that number 9 car was able to get around him, and he is going to put some pressure on the leader to try to get a lap back. But right now our leader's mired in heavy traffic. Right now, our leader trying to work their way around that number 20 of Derek Paulson. And Jeff Ward in that second position, he's trying to get it back around the number 9 of Kyle Wellman. And Dakota Bennick in that 73 kind of played a factor there. He ended up doing the sportsman-like thing and kind of moving over and letting them go once he realized the leaders were there. But right now, this race for the lead is going to be determined, I think, by lap traffic. And I did just see the number 21, of Ty Marasco, who is running in the top 5. He was in 6th. He is sitting on the inside of the track, damaged with some heavy smoke coming out of that number 21 711 Ford. Not sure what happened there, but unfortunately for him, he is going to have to get a tow to pit road.
He fired it back up, and he's driving that thing on 2 cylinders down pit road right now. This car's getting tight. These guys trying to drive it up out of the car and drive it up out of the turn and getting the car into the wall is what happened there. I seen a couple guys that bounced it off the wall, but Ty Marasco's the first one that ended up having to take that loop through the inside there.
Now, you were talking about right now for the lead, Jeff Ward has recaught Taylor Butcher Benjamin. We've got about 7 laps to go, and we'll see if he's trying to make it work on the outside, but unfortunately he's got 2 cars running that outside line in front of him, lapped cars. He's going to get by Taylor Butcher Benjamin for the lead, but right now those 2 drivers are stuck behind the number 38 of Brandon Feeney and the 20 of Derek Paulson. Those 2 cars about to go a lap down at the tail end of the lead lap. Jeff Ward is going to give a little nudge to Brandon Feeney there. Feeney's going to go up the track. Jeff Ward going to get underneath him, but Butcher Benjamin's still right on top of him. They're almost 3 wide there for a split second. As we're going to have just a handful of laps to go, there's a car driving through the grass. That's Nick Akier. We've got lap traffic. It's basically chaos here at North Wilkesboro these last few laps.
Yeah, like we were saying, these cars fall apart quick, and when they start getting worse, it's just harder and harder to drive them, and you start wearing them up faster and faster. It's going to be a lot. It's a lot of work for Taylor Butcher Benjamin to get this position back from Jeff Ward. We'll have to see how he can do it, especially this deep in the lap traffic. You're pretty much in the heart of the field now, as they're getting a car every lap, it seems like.
Yeah, and just that last lap, the number 20 of Derek Paulson got into the back of Matt Ridgway. Paulson got completely sideways in front of the leader. He had to lock it down to not hit that attenuator, which is basically just a tire at the end of pit wall. But he was able to keep it rolling. And just about 3 laps to go in this 50-lap heat race to start off our Thursday is for the boys racing. And Jeff Ward right now going to be able to secure his spot in front right now. Butcher Benjamin really trying to reel him back in, but time is winding down. Just 2 more laps to go, and this race is going to be over. I think there's not a lot of lap traffic right now in front of our leaders, so it's up to Butcher Benjamin right now to see if he can really just try to haul the mail up to that number 55 of Jeff Ward. They're going to come off at turn 4 right now. They're going to see the white flag, the SESRA flag man holding that white flag in the air. 1 more lap for these drivers, and they are all fighting hard. Those lap traffic cars behind our leaders also battling hard for position. But right now our leaders are going to go down into turn 3. Jeff Ward going to lead Taylor Butcher Benjamin off the 4th corner, and Jeff Ward is going to win our SESRA Classic Open race here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. That's 50 laps. Came and went, and Jeff Ward going to bring it home yet again. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to come home 2nd. Brian McRae ends up in 3rd. Great run for him. Drew Ballesteros with another great run, a top 5 for him. Studley Mark Dudley is going to round out our top 5. Jason Taylor comes back to a 6th place finish. Matt Ridgway is able to salvage a 7th place finish. Derek Paulson going to be 8th. Brandon Feeney, our friend from the Great White North, going to end up in 9th place, top 10 for him. And Sonny Thompson going to round out our top 10. What an excellent showing for this first race. And once our driver is done doing some celebration, we'll get Jeff Ward up here so we can talk to him. All right, I think we're going to talk to our race winner, Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward, we talked just a few minutes ago, and here we are. We're talking to you again. How was that race?
Man, that was a blast. That's one of the funnest races I've had in a long time. Yeah, it was just tire wear really come into effect there, and then the lap traffic, those guys are really putting up a good fight. to stay on the lead lap. And Taylor ran a great race, man. I think if we didn't run into lap traffic, I don't know if I could have got to him. He's going to be strong in the next race. He's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, definitely saw you get caught up there. You got boxed in. You'd kind of reeled him in there, and you got boxed in. I think it was Derek Paulson and Brandon Feeney maybe were racing side by side. Definitely made it a little bit more difficult for you. But you got creative there. You kind of went 3 wide, kind of worked your way through the middle and made it work. You planning on being a little bit more aggressive in this next race, knowing how lap traffic is going to be?
I was pretty aggressive there. I bumped a couple guys, let them know I was there. But yeah, it's just one of them things, man. Short track racing, you're definitely gonna have to deal with that. And I didn't move up to the high line till late. I didn't think I was gonna be fast up there, so I finally decided to try to get a run on Taylor there. He's kind of bogged down on the bottom, and that thing just started rolling pretty good up there. So next race, maybe try to move up on the high line a little sooner.
Yeah, we saw in the the super late models race here a couple weeks ago. Completely different car, but we saw a lot of drivers really start using that outside line to carry momentum, especially through 1 and 2. Definitely something to consider. But the tire wear definitely going to play a factor. Were your brakes wearing? I mean, we were talking about how these cars don't really have the state-of-the-art brakes we're used to seeing. Was brakes kind of playing a factor as well?
Yeah, I kind of kicked my brake bias towards the front because I was pretty loose in practice on entry. Thing was really wanting to kick out, so I may have put too much front brake in that thing because it was really starting to get tight on entry, and that's kind of why I wanted to move up to, when it gets tight down on the bottom, you can get up there and at least get a good run off the turn and keep those RPMs up. So yeah, man, brakes, tires, lap traffic, you name it. I think this next one's going to be another great race.
Why don't you thank your sponsors, the guys who help you out, and we'll let you get ready and focus on this pro invitational race.
Yeah, man, I thank you guys up in the booth there. Thanks to Arctic Coolers, Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, Dr. Squatch, Modern Spartan Systems, Pride Network. There's a long list. I'm probably leaving a couple people out, but yeah, that's about it.
Well, Jeff, if I know you as well as I think I do, you'll probably have a chance to thank the rest of your sponsors here after this next race.
Yeah, I hope so. That's what we're here for.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Good luck in this next race, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, that was Jeff Ward, another driver that we talk to very frequently here in the SESRA Classic Racing Series. And he is no slouch. His first time at North Wilkesboro, he said he just bought the track, and that's a pole and a win. So he's going for the clean sweep.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of luck for these new guys. These guys just buying tracks, just getting cars. I mean, the new hasn't even worn off of that thing, and these guys are getting wins. Taylor Butcherman with Bristol last week, so, I mean, I guess that's what you need to do. Just wait till the day of, night of, hour before, buy the content you need, then start competing. Maybe practicing is for old folks. Maybe that time is coming past.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jason, it's weird because there have been races I've done for iRacing different events where I'll spend all week practicing. And more often than not, those races that I practice all week for, I end up with a disappointing result. And I don't know if it's because I'm overhyping it and over preparing. But then there's been other races where I just hop in, I get 5 minutes of practice. I really have no clue what I'm doing. And I go home with a W or a top 5, and I'm very, very pleased with how it turns out. So maybe there's something to be said about not overthinking it. Just kind of getting in there, using your instincts and your talents, and just going to work and seeing what happens.
Well, we'll definitely be able to see in this next race here, see if the newcomers or the new content, I don't even know if you say that, someone that just bought the stuff, someone that hasn't been able to over practice or overstretch themselves has a leg up on anyone.
Well, it's when you're new to something, it's easy to get overstretched, and I'm glad that these guys are really easing into it and kind of making themselves at home here at this new track. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, let you get familiar with some of our wonderful sponsors. We'll let you go get a break, listen to our commercials. We'll be back in just a few moments, and we'll get ready for this next race, this 80-lap SESRA Pro Invitational right here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Thank you for watching E-Racing TV. We'll be right back.
Bucket, coolant. Oh, amps it right out. The bucket. See how long it takes to wear through the coating.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
Welcome back to E-Racing TV live from North Wilkesboro Speedway. We want to thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on the Pride Outdoor Network, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Roku TV, or Twitch. We thank you so much for joining us. And if you got a chance to watch those commercials just a second ago, you probably saw that excellent Dr. Squatch commercial. They make an excellent soap. And just for you guys who are listening right now, we have a new promo code. So if you go to drsquatch.com and use the promo code TOPFLIGHT, that's TOPFLIGHT, Top Flight, use that promo code, you will get 20% off any Dr. Squatch order. So that's a pretty awesome deal. You're going to get that only right here on eRacing TV. So you're welcome for paying you to shop, basically. And right now, we are in the middle of our qualifying session here for this next race, the SESRA Pro Invitational for the Classic Series. And we saw at the end of that last race, I'm not sure if some of you guys saw it from the camera angle, but I was able to watch Kyle Wellman in that number 9 car. At the end of that last race, he had really figured something out. He was very fast the last 15 or so laps. And no surprise right now, he is sitting at the top of the charts right now, a 19 flat for Kyle Wellman. And Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to be sitting second, Brian McRae third, Matt Ridgway fourth, and Jason Taylor fifth. Still quite a few drivers to turn some laps. Jason, tell me, what did you see in that first race that kind of stuck out to you that might play a factor here in this second race?
Oh, well, I think the guys that weren't expecting the tire fall off to be as bad, they learned a valuable lesson that first race. I really think, we were talking to Jeff Ward. He was talking about how he was going to start the race and start saving. He's got a lot of experience in these cars. The track might have been new, but this was the first time, or he's been racing the cars quite a bit. He knows what that fall off is. He knows how fast these cars get out of shape. Very important. He had to save those tires, and we saw it pay off at the end. So I think a lot of those guys that realized how tight these cars got, how hard it was, how much speed they lost in that first race, I think everyone's going to be playing a way more conservative game at the beginning of this race than they did last time.
Well, I could probably help them out, Jason. I don't know if you had gotten the news article or read the news, but as a SESRA race-winning crew chief, I feel like I could really kind of help them out. I'm pretty proud of that. That's right. Earlier this week, I was able to crew chief our man behind the curtain, Jeff Shrewsbury, to a W at Richmond. So I felt pretty happy about that. So, if any of these guys want any tips, pointers, I could certainly lend a hand.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys out there that would definitely take that up. As we see, I think that's Alex Sexton there in the 17. Yeah, he got out of shape in the turn there. We didn't see him in the first race. We saw him here in this one. So guys that didn't get a chance to kind of fill this track out, they're probably going to be struggling compared to their counterparts out here.
Yeah, we've got some new faces in this race. We got Grayson Ward. He's racing that number 18, that Jeff Gordon throwback. And the number 18, we've got Alex Sexton in the 17. We've got Landon Hathaway in the 16. Christopher Fahed. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but he's in the race as well. And we've also got Noah Elder and Hayden LOL. Hayden Lol. So some new faces in this race. So curious to see how those drivers are able to figure it out.
Yeah, no, this is some pretty cool stuff right here. The throwback races are always really, really awesome to see, and so now this is going to be like a whole series of throwback series. So a lot of memories, a lot of fun memories growing up, seeing these cars on TV, and it's going to be awesome kind of see them in action, build a new driver around that image, and cheer them on as they go through the season when that starts up in January.
100% true. We've definitely got some fierce competitors, some personalities in this SESRA series. And the more we talk to these drivers, the more we learn about them. Hopefully you guys watching at home are going to pick a favorite driver. Have somebody that you can root for. I know we put on a good show. The racing is always tight and competitive. So being able to have a favorite driver will definitely, crank things up, especially for our viewers at home. And right now, it's pretty close up front. We've got Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Kyle Wellman, Brian McRae, Grayson Ward in that number 18. He's a newcomer. Matt Ridgway, Jason Taylor, all of these drivers within about a tenth of a second of each other. So definitely going to have to keep an eye. This is going to be a very tight field up front. And I'm excited to see. I mean, we've still got about 7 minutes left in this qualifying / practice session. We've got some fresh faces. And some of those fresh faces are doing a pretty good job getting around this track with our seasoned regulars.
Yeah, no, this is the one thing that's really cool about an open race like this is, anyone can wander on in, and it takes me back to always racing with my dad and my family, like our local dirt track. Growing up, they'd spend weeks and weeks just perfecting the car, getting really good, and then an out of towner shows up and just kind of steals the purse. Before the outlaws, they had actual outlaws that would show up to your dirt track and just rob you blind on your big purse nights. And that's kind of, sometimes that happens to our guys. Our season regulars, they all know how to race against each other. They know who the big dog is. And those drivers in the field, they work at it. They finally get to where they get a track that they like. They start getting some speed. They qualify good. And then, unbeknownst to them, some newcomer comes and steals that win out from under them. So, it's always fun. It's always that chase and that thrill when you have open events like this.
Well, you're 100% right because, we used to race out at Concord Motorsport Park in the late model stock. And you're right. You'd have your weekly, 100-lap late model race, and you'd get your regular guys who are, getting their setup and figuring out the track. And then you get the 200-lap money race, once a month. And then you get 40 cars. You get guys from Georgia, Virginia, and they'd all show up, and half of them would be struggling to even turn laps at the back, but then you get a handful of guys that just show up out of nowhere and try to run away with it. And it's definitely something that our fans and our drivers who are familiar with short track racing would be very familiar with that concept. Some of these guys just know the cars so well, they can go anywhere and run well. And there's other guys that they show up and, man, it's hard for them to even turn a lap. So we get a little bit of both of that, and it's really kind of cool to see that balance of those different competitors here racing with our SESRA regulars on a weekly basis right here on eRacing TV.
All right, real quick here, we're gonna pay some bills real quick before the race gets started. We got just about 5 minutes before the race starts. I want to remind everyone that none of this would be possible without the support that we get from Dr. Squatch Man Soap Bars. If you haven't tried this stuff out yet, it is, we're not just saying it just to say it here. This is some good stuff. And they're actually giving us a better deal here, a better deal for you. That's 20% off your order when you use the promo code TOPFLIGHT. We'll have Jeff Shrewsbury put that in the comments for you. If you're watching this on Facebook or on Facebook there should be a link in there that gets you another awesome deal, but that's promo code TOPFLIGHT at drsquatch.com. Gets you 20% off that order. So try you out some soap. If it's not good, I'm sure they got a deal for you to help you out, make you feel good about it. But this is awesome stuff. You're not just going to toss it out. But we're going to cut real quick, get our supporters in there, and when we get back, it'll be Green Flag Racing.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
Add a bucket, coolant. Oh. Amps it right out. Oh, add the bucket. See how long it takes to wear through the coating.
Welcome back to E-Racing TV, coming at you live from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Thank you for checking out our sponsors, Dr. Squatch, Modern Spartan Systems, Pride Outdoor Network. All of those guys very loyal. We thank them so much for their support. We're getting ready to grid these guys up to go racing for 80 laps around this 5/8 mile track. Right now at the top of the board, Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that number 3 car. He ran an 18.958. That's a pretty quick lap. Grayson Ward, the newcomer in that 18 car, he's going to be sitting on the outside pole with a 19 flat. Kyle Wellman, you heard me talk about him earlier. He was very fast at the end of that last open race. He has figured something out. He is sitting third right now with a 19.086. Brian McRae and Drew Ballesteros going to round out our top 5. Then Matt Ridgway, Jason Taylor, Studley, Mark Dudley, Brandon Feeney, our friend from the Great White North, and Hayden, laughing out loud, Hayden Lowell, in that number 30 car with a top 10 run. Great for him. Derek Paulson, Corey Sherman, Nick Akier, Alex Sexton, Arnold Thompson, Dakota Bennick, Landon Hathaway, Christopher Fed. Still not sure how to say that one, but he's down there in 16th place. Michael Nash, Jeff Ward. He did not really turn a lap. He just kind of went out, warmed the tires, got a feel for it. He's going to be sitting back there in the back of the field, so definitely going to be an interesting race. We got some fast drivers starting at the back. I think we're going to take a quick second to talk to our pole sitter, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, pretty fast lap there, 18.958. You had a very fast car in the open race, and then again here in the Pro Invitational. What are your plans? What's your strategy for this race?
Well, last time I think I kind of burned up my tires a little too quick, and I think Jeff did a better job at taking care of his. So I'm still going to try to, get as much of a gap as I can on this start and try to manage them a little bit better. And hopefully these guys can keep it straight for a while and have a good race. I think we're capable of putting the 80 laps together on the green, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, that first race, you saw lap traffic played a big part, especially for you guys up front. Are you expecting the lap traffic to be roughly the same, and are you going to be more aggressive, more conservative? How are you planning on getting through that lap traffic?
Yeah, I just have to play it by ear. I think that I made the wrong decision last time, trying to go on the inside of Brandon, and that's what allowed Jeff to get the run on the outside. And then once we cleared the traffic, I couldn't get by him. So just try to be methodical when I get to those guys and just keep it clean.
All right, Taylor, why don't you thank the guys who help you out, thank your sponsors, and tighten those belts and get ready to go 80 laps.
I definitely thank Dr. Squatch and Top Flight for sponsoring our team and this series for a few races, especially in the Pro Series once it starts in 2021. My old buddy Richard Springer from the Dynasty Racing League, he's in here spotting tonight for me, and he's been doing a good job recently there. And you guys for putting on the broadcast and the great fans for tuning in to watch. Because if it wasn't for the fans, I mean, none of this would really be possible. So definitely kudos to them.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Good luck in this race, and we'll be talking to you again very shortly.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. That's Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting on the pole, and he said something that's very important, Jason. If it wasn't for the fans watching from home right now, this wouldn't be possible. So again, thank you to our fans. And one more chance to give you guys an excellent deal at Dr. Squatch Soaps. If you go to drsquatch.com, use the promo code TOPFLIGHT, you'll get 20% off your next order. And I think that's a hell of a deal. Definitely something to take advantage of. You're going to get that deal right here on eRacing TV and only eRacing TV. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're getting ready to, man, what do you think these guys are thinking right now? We got I'd say almost half and half. Half of this field has already raced in the first race, and then the other half is new to this. So what, as a driver coming new into this, what do you think their first thoughts are?
Well, I would say some of these guys who are new are probably not sure what to expect. The guys who did race that first race, I think they're going to try really hard to make it work out. And the green flag is going to fly. We're going racing right now, Jason. And on the outside, Grayson Ward in that number 18, he is going to try really hard to get around our leader. That's Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He is going to put some serious pressure on. He's going to try to roll around that outside line. He can't get the momentum to stick. And Butcher Benjamin going to slide back in front of him there on the front stretch. Kyle Wellman going to end up third. Drew Ballesteros with a great start. He's worked his way up to fourth. And already this field kind of fanning out up front, but we've got a serious battle for position there from Matt Ridgway on back. Ridgway's in seventh. This field very antsy and hungry, and back at the back, a caution flag. Christopher Fahed goes around in that number 23 car. No damage taken to him. He got a little bump from behind. It looked like maybe that's the number 21. Yeah, the 21 of Ty Marasco gets in the back of Fahed, and he goes for a little bit of a ride. Probably could have gotten away with no caution there, but the caution flag is going to come out. We're going to stack these drivers back up.
Yeah, that's, sometimes when you got the computer throwing the cautions for you, it gets to determine what an accident is. It had a car going slow sideways in the track, so asphalt race, it's definitely going to throw that one on you. So, these guys got to eat a caution lap, but at least there's no damage. No one's, those guys are still in the race. They're still going to be competitive out there. So their race isn't necessarily done yet. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, that was actually a lucky break for Christopher Fahed in that number 23 car because, he would have lost a lot of ground, but because of that caution flag, he's going to put himself right at the tail end of this field. He's not going to lose too much ground. It would have taken him a lap or so to get back up to speed. But as it stands now, he is right there.
Hey, talking about people that are changing cars up real quick, our driver from the Great White North, he's swapped over to Ford. He's got him a Hardee's machine out here, the number 5. So there's someone else trying both of these cars out. Still not sure which one they're going to be going with.
I wonder if Brandon heard me talking about that earlier and was like, you know what, I'm going to try it out. It's a good-looking Cale Yarborough throwback there, that Ford Hardee's car, that number 5, looking pretty good. Brandon did a pretty great job in that number 38 Chevy earlier, but he switched over to that number 5 Ford, so I wonder if it's going to treat him better.
Tell you what, we got Jeff Ward in here in the pits right now, maybe topping off of fuel. What do you think?
The fuel definitely, I think they can definitely go 80 laps on a full tank of fuel, but what I found out as a race-winning crew chief is that you really got to work the balance. It's about the handling. It's how much weight you want at the back of that car, because as these tires burn off, the whole balance of the handling in these cars changes dramatically. So it could be a preference thing. I know that my driver, Jeff Shrewsbury, he liked it with no fuel. He liked the balance of light rear end, but maybe Jeff Ward wants that heavy rear end so he can get it to pivot mid-corner a little bit better.
That's a very good point. Very good crew chiefing right there. Congratulations on the win, by the way, for all the fans at home that don't know. They tore it up and they won Richmond. Good job on them, the broadcast team. I was too busy getting pit road penalties to even have a fart in the wind in that race.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jason. I have more hair than Larry Mack, but I think he might know a little bit more than me. But I'll meet him halfway on the hair.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna stack them back up 2 by 2. We're getting ready to go back racing. We've not even worked 10 laps yet. Working lap 8, gonna come around, take the green flag on lap 9. Is still up front. Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, and Grayson Ward. Kyle Wellman and Drew Ballesteros. Brian McRae and Jason Taylor, your top 3 rows. The green flag is going to come back out. And a little bit of a stack up behind our leaders, but Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, he's going to get a great jump. Ballesteros going to dig his nose in on the outside. He is going to try to get around that newcomer of Grayson Ward. Grayson Ward, we don't know much about him, but we know that he's pretty quick in that number 18 car. And I don't know if you saw, Jason, on that start there, Matt Ridgway, he got a big bump from behind. He got a little bit sideways. Kind of stacked everyone up there.
Yeah,
And,
that's, he still needs to get to the store and get a better rabbit's foot, because that one he's got, he need to find, maybe upgrade to a horseshoe or something now. Is now we got a, hell, is that Junior in the number 8 out there coming up real close to Matt's bumper? Who's that in the number 8 out there? Oh, that's Sonny Thompson. Sonny Thompson rolling that number 8 machine up there. Oh, the Pennzoil machine got loose in the grass underneath Matt. That could have made things a lot worse. We'll see if they keep battling for the spot.
Caution, Jason. Well, I don't see a caution. There's a big contact on the backstretch. That was Christopher Fayette again. Unfortunately, he got thrown into the ropes there. I'm not sure he got. There was a stack up, and number 21, Ty Marasco, the number 8, Sonny Thompson, all them got together, and Fayette got the short end of the stick. He made heavy contact with the inside wall. Strangely enough, no caution there, but there was a caution for that slight sideways maneuver. But back up at the front right now, Grayson Ward in that number 18. He is staying with our leader, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And we don't know much about Grayson Ward. This is his first race ever with SESRA. But so far, he has done a good job. And just to update our viewers, unfortunately, Christopher Fayed is going to retire from this event. The damage to that car, too much for him to continue. So he is going to be our first DNF of this event.
Looks like...
I was going to say, Jason, how much of a factor does this play? I don't know if you could see from the broadcast, but from where I'm sitting, you could see the track has been kind of covered with cloud cover. The sun not shining back down on that track like it was a few laps ago. So how is that going to change the handling dynamics of these cars? I would imagine it's going to tighten them up just a bit.
Man, it's... going to make him too tight, I think, as we see the 18 now. He's already driving it, having to drive it that hard. It just shows you how much of a change that already is. So I think these guys are going to start hoping that sun comes out real quick, because we didn't see anyone have a problem with a loose car. So the more sun they can have on this track, the slippier they can get it, the better they're going to be.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I mean, you said it right there. We're seeing these cars already starting to show some poor handling characteristics pretty early in this race. I mean, we're not even 25% into this event, and we're starting to see cars starting to push, and that's not something you want to see. It's only going to get worse from here unless you decide to go down pit road and maybe take some tires, but I don't know that you'd want to do that, because you'd lose a whole lot of track position. There's a lot of cars still on the lead lap. And for those of our fans that are watching that aren't familiar with the terminology, we say things like loose and tight. Loose means the car wants to spin out. You're getting into the corner, it gets a little loose. That means it jumps sideways. It wants to spin out on you. But when the car is tight, the opposite. You're trying to get that car to turn, but it just wants to keep plowing straight, kind of like a dump truck. And right now we're seeing these cars get tighter and tighter. These 1987 Cup cars turning into dump trucks out there, and that's not something these drivers really want to see.
Here we are on board with the SESRA champ, 2018 SESRA Pro Series champion Jeff Ward, as he's starting to work his way around Michael Nash here. He's the one in the Earnhardt 8. I misquoted that earlier talking about Sonny Thompson, but he's going to start working that bottom. That's using up tires. So when we start talking about wear here, you're going to see this number 55 Jeff Ward. He's working on a pass right now. He set up the 8 for the pass, so he's going to be running the bottom to make that pass. But the problem with that is you're turning sharper. You're putting more wheel into it. The more steering wheel, you're having to turn it more, so you're scrubbing those tires. You're losing more grip, and you're wearing your stuff out. So that's kind of the give and take. Plus side of that, he's got the track position. If the caution comes back out, he's got some better options. He can pit from a higher track position, or you can stay out and keep that better track position. So that's kind of the give and take on a racetrack in the most simplest terms. That's kind of the give and take, what you're getting for track position versus wear on your equipment.
I'll tell you, Michael Nash in that number 8 car and Sonny Thompson also in the number 8 car. They're not doing us any favors. Both of those drivers opting to drive a black and silver number 8. So we'll have to keep a sharp eye on which driver is which. But Michael Nash right now trying to reel back in Jeff Ward in that number 55. Jeff Ward has worked his way up to Drew Ballesteros. Ballesteros is known for being a really competitive driver. He's only been with us for a couple weeks, but he loves SESRA so far. In fact, he sent me a message on Facebook earlier going, when does everything start? I want to get on the track. So shout out to Drew Ballesteros. Love his competitive spirit. But right now, looks like he is fighting an ill-handling race car. We're used to seeing him up in the top 3 or 4 drivers, but right now he is running in that 10th position. Maybe sustained some damage, I'm not sure. But Jeff Ward's going to get around him. He's going to work his way into 9th, and he is going to start trying to reel in that number 30 car, that Pennzoil car of Hayden Lall. So Hayden, another new driver in the SESRA. He is racing his first race with us, and so far he's in the top 10, so a great run for him. Both Hayden Lall and Grayson Ward, their first race with us, both of those drivers in the top 10. So shout out to them for being able to run with our pros and do a great job.
Tell you what, I'm really loving that Carolina Ford's number 18 paint scheme. We should keep him just for that. Hopefully Brian McRae is taking a liking to this guy. Hopefully he's taking a liking to a lot of these guys. This is some really competitive racing. This is a very good field for this track. And it seems like everyone right here is already really understanding these cars. They're understanding how they work. They're giving each other tons of space to make for some competitive racing. We had, one caution already, but I think Fahed is just gonna have to get some more experience on these cars. It's probably a little new for him. We saw him struggling there a bit, but everyone else out here is doing a real good job.
Yeah, and right there we see Grayson Ward. He's going to get around our leader, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's going to take over that top spot, our quote-unquote out-of-towner. He's going to try to steal a win away from these SESRA Classic weekly competitors. And I love that. Like you said, I love that Jeff Gordon throwback, that Carolina Ford dealers number 18. It's a very classic, very old school, very nostalgic paint scheme. And we love seeing it up front. And it's really cool to see, you're only gonna see cars like that Jeff Gordon Busch Series Special and the Wrangler Dale Earnhardt car. You're only gonna see them battling door to door in a situation like this here on E-Racing TV. With this classic series, every week is a throwback week. So really cool. And I'm starting to think about growing out a mustache. I'm not sure how the ladies are gonna feel about that, but the mustache feels appropriate.
Yeah, appropriate is the key word. I think it's getting a little shady once you start talking about that. But tell you what, Jason Taylor moved up to 5th right now. This is a good race for him so far. We're getting close to halfway. He's doing his best out here, but he's switched back to the Chevy, so he's still at work testing out both of these cars. He's gonna have both at his disposable. He'll have both. They might be disposable, but he'll have both at his disposal come the season. So he's figuring out how you do 2 races in these tracks. He's figured out I'm going to race both cars and see which car I do better at in these races.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised. He did pretty decent in that Ford earlier, so maybe he's thinking here at the short track he wants a bit more handling underneath that car, switched over to the Chevy Monte. And I'll tell you what, Jason, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we can do to help our buddy out, but Matt Ridgway, he's running in 16th position. Well, he just won a lap down, and it's certainly not for lack of speed. Matt Ridgway, always a very fast driver here in SESRA. He must have gotten himself involved in some sort of shenanigans out on track because that car's got a bit of damage, and it's looking a little worse for the wear, especially at the back end of that car. So I'm not sure what Matt Ridgway got into, but unfortunately for him, he is not any longer. He is no longer in the top 10. He has worked his way to the back, unfortunately, in that beat up number 13. Hopefully we'll have to invest, maybe get him a horseshoe, like you said, maybe do some sort of shamanic ritual to kind of get rid of his negative energy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we can do to help him out, but it's certainly not for lack of trying. Certainly not for lack of talent. Matt's a very fast driver, very talented driver. He just has probably the worst luck we've seen all season.
Yeah, we got to do something. My God, he can't. He can't do anything to get out of this bad luck. I hate it for him. Looks like he did get into some. I think he had the 30 kind of get into him there at the beginning of this run. And looks like he's got tight, especially once the cloud cover came out, got tight, got into the wall. But we'll see if he can rebound. I know he's out there waiting on a caution so he can get some new tires on that thing. It might be smart. Maybe take a pit now. You're already a lap down. Might as well get fresh tires. And then take that wave around when the caution does come out. Because with these cars getting worse and worse with handling, I know a caution's coming.
Yeah, caution. This is definitely a situation that's not helping out our friend Jeff Ward. I think he's used to seeing more cautions. Right now, he is running in that 8th position. He's about 8 seconds behind our leader. And if we continue racing on green flag, I don't think that he is going to have really enough time to catch our leader. And he's going to need to see a caution or two to kind of rack things back up and give him a second chance at making some track position up. Because right now, I'm surprised to say we're in a short track, and we've only seen one caution, and that was at the first, I think that was lap 4, maybe, lap 3 or 4. So we're working lap 44. We're just over halfway, and we're doing long green flag runs so far. And I think some of these drivers were not expecting that, and that's certainly going to take that whole tire wear, brake wear, keeping that mechanical keeping that equipment underneath you sort of thing. It's going to make it way more important.
Lap 45, we've crossed over that halfway point. These guys are doing a real good job on this green flag run. And that only backs up what I was saying. It looked like all of these guys they're really experienced with this car, or at least they've figured it out. And all of them are very competitive in these cars now.
Yeah, sorry for my lack of talking there. I just had a bit of a drink spillage issue, and I am now sitting here a bit soaking wet, but I'm going to continue like the professional that I am, and we're going to keep calling this bad boy. And the good news is the computer and the microphone are completely fine. It's just me that took most of that drink to the pants area, so we're just gonna roll with it. And no cool suits back then. If you gotta go, you gotta go. So I'm really immersing myself in this 1980s racing situation.
Yeah, it's about living it. It's about the experience, not just the visual pleasure. So like we were saying, if you're watching this race and you don't have a cold beverage in your hand or on you, you're totally wrong here. You need to get up off the couch, go grab one real quick. We got a few more laps left. Head to your own personal concession stand and get you a nice cold one to get back in here, because we got to... I don't think this race is done yet. Grayson Ward, he might be creeping out away, but we got a lot of SESRA veterans that don't want a newcomer winning one of their races.
100%. These guys, especially Taylor Butcher Benjamin, we know he is an incredibly competitive driver, and he doesn't want to see another SESRA regular beat him on track, let alone some newcomer, Grayson Ward, that we know nothing about, some guy who has just waltzed into his territory and is starting to run away with it. So he's going to want to see, And here's the thing, he may be saving a bit more than Grayson Ward. I mean, he might be, and we've got
Oh, there's the caution. There's the caution right there. That was Taylor Butcher Benjamin actually getting into, I think, was that Nick Akie? Couple SESRA veterans there getting into each other. Well, now the question, should I stay or should I go? Looks like Ward is going to be taking him in there. Oh my gosh, Grayson Ward. Do you think he's related to...
Jeff Ward?
Is this a family that he snuck into the race here? I just now realized that. Just now put 2 and 2 together.
Well, it would make a lot of sense considering the speed we've seen out of Grayson Ward so far.
Yeah, families typically run about the same, so could be... Boy, that'd just be a mind blower right now for me if they end up being related.
I'm sorry for my lack of talking. I'm working out some technical issues here. The drink that spilled over had gotten onto my mouse, and I'm no longer able to control the iRacing display board, so I can't. I'm kind of stuck watching one driver, and so we're working with it over here. And we're taking a look right now. I'm looking at Grayson Ward, who came down pit road, and he brought a bunch of drivers with him. And I'm thinking now that this caution flag has come out, that this field needs to really watch out for that number 55 of Jeff Ward. He is going to be restarting in that 12th or so position, probably not where he wants to, or about 10th. It's probably not where he wants to be, but we saw he has a lot of speed. We saw him win that first race, the Open. So with this field stacked back up, track position very important. He is going to be right on top of all the guys in front of him. So definitely want to keep an eye on Jeff Ward as he tries to reel in his potential and possible kin, Grayson Ward.
Potential and possible. That's what I like. That's pretty awesome. It'd be a cool story. Brother battles are always the best in racing, sim racing, esports, backyard football, backyard boxing. You name it, brothers just love beating the hell out of each other. At least I know me and mine did. So I think that'd be enough to kind of, raise the bar a little bit.
Definitely raise the bar. If you ain't racing family, who are you racing, I mean, that's the best competition. You got the same genes, the same upbringing.
Yeah.
An even playing field.
Yeah, even playing field that way for sure. I'll tell you what, so Taylor Butcher Benjamin was able to beat Grayson Ward out of pit road here. He's going to be starting on the inside of that. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he picked the outside. I don't know if that's a good idea, bad idea. On fresh tires, I think I'd want that inside lane, but he's the leader of the race. We'll see what happens here.
All right, pace car's going to come off, and green flag back in the air. Taylor Butcher Benjamin with a great jump. Kyle Wellman also with a great jump. He is going to work his way up to third. They're 3 wide in the back right there. That's Brian McRae, Derek Paulson, and Drew Ballesteros, who were 3 wide for just a second. They're still 3 wide back there. Brian McRae, the meat in the sandwich, he has fallen back like a rock. Back up at the front of the field, we've got Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Grayson Ward, Kyle Wellman. We saw Kyle Wellman with a very fast car, both at the end of that first race and in practice and qualifying. He now puts himself in a position where he can try to reel in the leader and maybe try to steal this win away. And we see a big shakeup there after those pit stops in this restart. Jeff Ward is he's going to try to put some pressure right there on Mark Dudley. He is racing back there with Drew Ballesteros, Hayden Lall. And Dudley is going to get completely sideways in 3 and 4. He gathers it back up, but he is going to lose a lot of ground. Big loss there for Mark Dudley in that number 14 Piedmont Air car.
Yeah, that was a good save, but yes, definitely costly. This is not when I want to lose that many positions at lap 61 of 80 here.
definitely not the time to be aggressive to the point where you're going to start losing. But I got to tell you right now, I'm a little surprised. Jeff Ward, caution flag. Corey Sherman in that number 33 car, he spun it off a turn 2 right in front of traffic. He did not make contact with anything or anyone, but unfortunately for him, he is going to bring out this caution. That number 33, he is used to running that Skull Bandit paint scheme. He's mixed it up this week. He's got a new paint scheme on that car, fresh set of decals and fresh coat of paint. But so far, not really working out for him, as he just went for quite the ride down the backstretch. But I got to say, I think that this quick caution, we've said that cautions breed cautions, and kind of showing true here. We went for a long green flag run there in the middle, but now 2 back-to-back cautions. We see a lot of cars on pit road. In fact, Jeff Ward bringing it back down pit road. Mark Dudley, Hayden Lall, Ty Marasco, all those drivers going to come down pit road. And I'm thinking Jeff Ward's not very happy with his car right now, because I was expecting Jeff to make some pretty big gains in track position, but he's been stuck back there around 8th or 9th position. So maybe he's coming down to get a better feel for his car, maybe change the balance a little bit so he can get up there and run with them.
Yeah, there's something he's definitely not happy with here. Could just kind of be the track position. You know, think about it. Jeff Ward's always running a race up front. Not a whole lot, you know, practically clean air a lot. So he's stuck in the pack here. He doesn't have a whole lot of room to make moves. So, you know, this could be kind of uncharted terrain for the champ. Not used to mixing it up here with these guys in the back here. Usually as a leader, he kind of gets to pick and choose and slice through some lap traffic. But back here with the meat and potatoes, it might be a different story for him. Also, you know, we just saw the 33 spin out, but look what's out. The sun's back out. So track conditions can be changing rapidly. If the heat's getting right back into the track here, if it's warming it back up, everyone just got used to running a really tight car for that long green flag run. Now they're about to restart again on old tires, and the track's going to be slicker. So look for these guys to be starting to get snappy loose if they're used to putting a lot of throttle on the exit of these turns.
Yeah, our casual fans at home maybe is saying, like, why are you guys talking about the weather? What difference does it make if the sun is out? Well, it makes a huge difference, especially on handling balance. You know, when the sun is over the track, the temperature of the track, it cools down. The tires have a little bit more grip, but what happens is the car wants to push. It wants to push into that outside wall, get tight. And when the sun comes out, the track temperature raises back up. It gets hot. It gets greasy. It gets a little bit more slick. And you're able to maybe work, especially with those bias ply tires, a little bit more. But you said it, Jason. This is a short track. It's relatively flat. So putting the power down, especially on center off on that corner exit, it's going to be a lot easier to spin those tires and get it sideways, which if your car's pushing is good, but you've got to really balance that handling to be able to make it work out for you. And we're getting ready to go back racing right here. They're 2x2 yet again. Green flag out in the air, and another excellent jump for Taylor Butcher Benjamin. This time Grayson Ward is able to anticipate it. He is going to stay plastered on his back bumper. Kyle Wellman now going to stick his nose, but he can't make it work underneath the Grayson Ward car. Grayson Ward now going to stick his nose up under Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's going to try to steal this lead back, and he has got a very fast car, that number 18. He's going to try to see if he can win this race, and that inside line working very well. And just behind, we have got another caution. That was the number 11 of Derek Paulson. Paulson got together with the number 30 of Hayden Lall in that Pennzoil car. Actually, I'm thinking Hayden Lall may have gotten a bit of a bump from Studley Mark Dudley, and he made that work, and quite a few drivers involved in that. Our fan favorite Jeff Ward was very close to getting involved in that, but he was able to sneak his way through unscathed. But unfortunately, Hayden Lall in that 30 and Derek Paulson in the 11, they definitely were involved in that with some pretty heavy damage.
But you know who made it through that? It was Matt Ridgway. So maybe that rabbit's foot's got a little bit of power for him, because he definitely picked up some spots right there.
Yeah, it's nice to see Matt Ridgway not be involved in a crash. We've not seen him We have not seen him cause any crashes. We have not seen him cause a single crash this season, but what we have seen is him get involved in other people's crashes consistently this season. And it's none of his own doing. He just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And for once this season, it's nice to see Matt Ridgway sneak his way through. And maybe this will give him a boost of confidence so he can go out there and kick some butt now. Maybe he'll be able to finish this race off with a nice solid top 10 finish.
Yeah, I might give him the right amount of grip there with the tires here. Might let him fix some of that, repair some of the stuff that he needed done. We'll see.
These late race cautions are kind of mixing up the field. We saw these drivers really kind of stick their feet in the sand kind of where they were. They drew a line and said, this is, where I'm running. And we saw everybody kind of running where they were. But now these cautions are mixing things up. We see Grayson Ward stealing the lead back from Taylor Butcher Benjamin. We see Drew Ballesteros, who is running near the back 10 or so cars. He was running 9th or 10th, which we kind of were surprised at, but he's now worked his way back up into the top 5. Michael Nash in that number 98 car, he's a newcomer, but he has now pushed his way up into that 6th spot, and that's that black and silver Earnhardt throwback car. It's a pretty car. Mark Dudley's worked his way back up. He has kind of been up and back in that Piedmont Air car. He is sitting 7th. Jeff Ward now has worked his way up to 8th. Corey Sherman, after that spin just the last caution, he's sitting in 9th. And Brian McRae, who was near the front earlier, he's been relegated to that 10th spot, still sitting in the top 10, but he's got Matt Ridgway right behind him, and he is going to try to steal that spot away. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, no, he's... Matt's about to be all over that, and he knows he can race Brian McRae rough. You don't hold back from friends. You let them have it about as much as you give it to your brother.
We almost have to get rough with Brian McRae because he's so hard to pass. He is not going to just let you go by. We've said it several times. He's kind of like the Ryan Newman of the SESRA series. He makes that car about 3 or 4 lanes wide no matter what track we're at. So you definitely got to get a little aggressive, put some pink to that bumper to get it to go. And the pace car is going to go back off. Green flag out in the air. And Grayson Ward is going to get a big jump on that. He kind of caught the field sleeping, and he's cleared himself by about a car length and a half over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And Kyle Wellman's going to go side by side right now with Jason Taylor for that 3rd spot. And right now that 8 car, that is Michael Nash. He is going to the outside of Jason Taylor in the 75, and boy, that car is looking good right now. I'm not sure what he figured out, but that outside lane is really working for him, and he's going to try to bring Jeff Ward with him in that 55. They're going to work their way up into the top 5. Excellent restart, but a caution flag is going to really kind of put a damper on their position, and that is the number 11. It looks like Derek Paulson again involved in that crash. Okay, I see what happened there. Dakota Bennick in the 73 car, he got loose. He spun in front of everyone, and then the 30 of Hayden Law checked up, and Derek Paulson did not check up so well. He got in the back of Hayden Law, those 2 drivers getting together, neither one of them getting serious damage, but Derek Paulson is going to go ahead and park it. I'm not sure if he got frustrated or got a lot of damage there, but Derek Paulson going to be our second retire. Second DNF of this race.
That's too bad. Yeah, it looks like the rabbit foot wore out on Matt Ridgway. We've been following him all race, so we might as well keep in check here. But it looks like he finally lost the engine on that one. That was the last hit she could take. That old Robert Yates motor just ain't putting it out anymore.
Yeah, those Yates engines can put out some horsepower. We got to take care of them. And unfortunately for Matt Ridgway, I don't know if it's the commentator's curse. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because he's our buddy, we talk about him a lot, and we give him the commentator's curse like every 5 or 6 laps.
That's true. Next race, we won't talk about you, Matt. Sorry, bud. I'll tell you what. So, God, we're at lap 78. Are we going to have another green and white checkered, or is this going to be another 1-lap restart, or do you think we're going to be, or is this it?
Well, I think we might see a green-white checkered. I don't know. I don't think they do that. in this classic series. But we have seen that green and white restart last week at Bristol, and it proved to be incredibly entertaining as it mixed everything up. And they're working lap 79. The lights are still on the pace car, so I'm thinking either it's going to end. I'm thinking it might end. We'll have to see. They're going to be coming around to lap 80. You have to take a look at the rules really quick.
Yeah, no, there's no green, white, checkered, so this is gonna end. This is effectively gonna end the race right here.
And Matt Ridgway has just retired from this event, and I'm not sure what's going on the front stretch here. Our leader, Grayson Ward, has stopped.
Maybe he thought, did he stop a lap early?
Did he pull a Mark Martin circa 1995 there? He's trying to race his way back up there now.
Yeah.
It's definitely always entertaining here at the SESRA League.
Yeah, even under caution, we almost had a lead change.
Grayson Ward just came over the chat and said LOL. So maybe he did think it was over, but he is going to cross the line. That is going to be the checkered flag, I believe. And Grayson Ward, he is going to be the first driver this season to come in and steal a win away from these SESRA regulars. That's going to be Taylor Butcher Benjamin in second place. Kyle Wellman going to finish third. Michael Nash, another new driver. He is going to finish fourth. Jeff Ward going to go home with a top 5. So that's 2 new drivers, Jason, in the top 5 in their first race with this series. That's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, this is a good bunch of guys. As we saw a lot of the SESRA vets coming, giving them love taps to the 18 machine, especially the champ Jeff Ward. So, usually an attaboy thing. Welcome to the clan thing. It could be I got you next time, dude. Sucka thing, but I guess we'll have to wait till the interviews to find out exactly what that was about. But it looked like he ran a clean race, looked like he ran a smart race, and he came out on top. So hopefully, maybe we can work on getting Grayson Ward in the booth. If not, I'm sure he'll be here next week, and we'll make sure he gets his 5 minutes of fame then. But we'll have whoever we can get up in the booth to hear about that race right after these messages.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't. And continue to be mommy's little helper.
Welcome back to E-Racing TV. You just watched a 80-lap main event right here, the SESRA Pro Invitational Classic Series at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Our winner, Grayson Ward, his first race here with us, and he has stolen a win away from all of these drivers that you are familiar with seeing. And Jason, I have some bad news. I just saw over the chat they were trying to get Grayson to come over here so he could talk to us, but he says his mic doesn't work. His microphone is not working. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get an interview with our race winner. Very unfortunate. I'd love to talk to Grayson, see how he felt about racing with us. But I do believe we have our second and third place finisher, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, in the number 3. You had a pretty good race here tonight. You came up just a little short in that second position. Tell me about that race for you.
Man, I got to get these guys named Ward out of here, But yeah, that was a good race overall. I mean, Grayson did a better job, just like Jeff did in the first race, of being better on the long run with his tires. And although I got out of pit road ahead of him, and he still was able to get me on the restart there. Felt bad for getting into Nick there. Certainly didn't want to. I needed a caution at that point, but that's not the way I wanted it, and I just got in there a little too low and a little too hot, locked the brakes up, and wouldn't turn and clipped his left rear. But luckily, for the most part, it was somewhat clean out there, and looking forward to Lanier next week. I've never been on that track with these cars before, so that'll be quite a learning experience.
Yeah, Lanier is going to be similar to the old Orange County Speedway they used to race at down in, or no, I'm sorry, Volusia County Speedway that they used to run down there in Florida before the Firecracker 400, the Busch cars ran. So that'll be an interesting. These cars definitely a little high horsepower, and the bias ply tires should make an interesting event next week. My question for you, Taylor, is: do you feel like if you had a green-white checkered or maybe just a handful of laps left, do you think you could have done something with Grayson?
I could have, but it would have been tough, especially because we thought we were going to get a single file restart actually, but it ended up being double file with the way it was set up. So if we got a double file, we probably would have picked the top, which that's what I was doing too. And yeah, I mean, it would have been tough, but I would have at least given a good shot at it.
Well, Taylor, why don't you thank your sponsors, thank the guys that help you out. You did a great job running in first or second the entire event, and you definitely gave your sponsors some good, much-needed airtime.
That's what I was aiming for, but definitely thanks to Dr. Squatch and as well as Top Flight for sticking with me and my team, for Brian and Jason for putting on the league, and Brian being kind of the team leader and mentor for me. Everybody that showed up for this race, so we got a good sized field tonight. And definitely you guys in the broadcast for putting it on, and I'm excited for the rest of the season and way things are going. Waiting for this Pro Series to start. Can't come soon enough. I got some momentum rolling my way.
Well, yeah, Taylor, you've only run a couple races in these 87 cars, but something about these cars has definitely clicked with your driving style. You've been the guy to beat ever since you joined the SESRA Classic Series. So I'm definitely going to have my eye on you next week when we go to Lanier, and I'm thinking you're going to be the guy to beat yet again.
I'll certainly try. I definitely need to get some practice in, but I'll try to give you guys as good of a effort as I can.
Thank you so much, Taylor. That's Taylor Butcher Benjamin, your second place finisher. Thank you so much for talking to us. And I do believe we have our third place finisher, Kyle Wellman, in that number 9 car. Kyle, you had a pretty fast car the last half of the first race and the whole race, the second race. Did something kind of click for you, or were you just kind of conserving your tires in that first race?
The first race, after getting in some tangled messes, I actually came down and got tires, but it gave me a chance to figure out what I could do with fresh tires in this race. In this race, I pretty much just figured out that with the shadow that we had almost the entire race, the inside line was the best line, as long as you could keep it a little high and almost hit the grass and the curb coming out of the turns.
Yeah, we were talking during the broadcast about that the cloud cover that the track had and how it was going to drastically change not only the lines you guys were driving, but also the balance of the handling in these cars. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because it just kind of proves that I do know what I'm talking about. And so from your perspective, did that race kind of go the way you thought it was going to go? You know, we did a long green flag run in the middle there, but towards the end, we saw caution after caution. Would you have rather, gotten those cautions out of the way early, or did you want it to go green flag the rest of the race?
From a personal standpoint, it 100% did not go to plan, because these are the first 2 races today that I've ever put laps down on this track. But the second race, I was actually really surprised that we went, I think, 50 to 53 laps without a caution. I thought they would all be in the beginning and we'd sort people out. But I think the cautions at the end really helped me, because I was able to keep up with Taylor and Grayson. I almost had Taylor on the exit of 2 one point, and then that final caution came out. But
Would you have liked to see a green, white checkered or a couple more laps? Do you think you could have made the most of your time there, or a little disappointing probably from a driver's perspective to see it end under caution?
At a track like this, I'd prefer it to end under caution because once we get that one green white checkered, it's going to be mayhem, and I could have went from third to 15th in half a turn.
It's a good point. It's kind of a gamble, hedge your bet sort of thing. And you definitely brought it home in third place tonight, which is a great run. Why don't you thank your sponsors, the guys that help you out? You got them some airtime tonight, and great finish for you in that number 9 car.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the stat book. I think I have the most top 3 finishes right now. I need to put this car in victory lane soon. But I'd like to thank ARC Performance for being on the car, Pat Salway and Steve Berg from Quicksilver Racing here in Billings, Montana, for allowing me to be on their team. And big shout out to my girlfriend for supporting me every Thursday, coming out here and racing fake race cars.
Hashtag Thursday is for the boys. I want to thank your girlfriend too for allowing you to join us. You put on a great show every single week, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Lanier. Do you have any plans for Lanier? Are you going to race it a little different? Are you going to try to approach it like you would like a different, street stock or a super late model race, or are you going to have to go back to the drawing board and get a whole new notebook for racing these cars at a track as tight as that?
I think it's a little mixture of both because I've run a lot of dirt at Lanier and I've never lost in a dirt street stock there. And yesterday I just won a 305 sprint car race there. So I kind of know the line, but I have to transfer that to asphalt and see how it would handle in an asphalt car.
So plenty of experience at that track. You just got to make the surfaced transition over to the pavement. And I think if there's a driver that can make that happen, it's going to be you, Kyle. So good luck next week. And I have a feeling we'll be talking to you either on the pole or in the top 3 again next week. And hopefully you can get it in victory lane like you're shooting to do.
Yeah, let's hope so. Top 3s are nice, but a win would be better.
Going for that points sort of thing. Those top 3s may not be good for the trophy shelf, but they're great for points. So definitely getting a feel for it before we go to the Pro Series in 2021.
Oh yeah, the main goal of this for me is just to keep this momentum going, and hopefully it translates over into the pro season in January.
I think you're doing a great job, Kyle. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we'll let you go celebrate a nice top 3 finish.
Heck yeah, we're gonna crack a cold one with the boys.
That sounds like a plan. Kyle Wellman in the number 9 car with a 3rd place finish. He's going to crack open a cold one for the boys. Hashtag Thursday is for the boys. Hashtag cold one. Jason, what are your reflective thoughts on this night of racing we saw at North Wilkesboro?
Well, first of all, I hope Jeff's keeping up with all these hashtags. He's got to be throwing them suckers down in the comments. But man, this was an awesome race. This track really puts it out. It puts all the guys, it gives them an awesome canvas to paint a masterpiece on, is what it does. And they didn't disappoint there. We saw crazy lines. That's something you don't even see in sim racing or real racing kind of anymore, is being able to use that whole track to really try something different on your competitors. And that's what we saw here tonight. We saw guys way up on the track. We saw 3-4 wide, and we saw it working. So awesome racing. And we definitely saw the format of these races. It's nothing set for what the season's going to be running in 2021. Nothing rulebook wise set yet. Brian McRae's got a fairly open mind, but they're really wanting to keep this kind of historical. So the 87 series, the schedule is as close as it can be. The rule book is probably going to be fairly mimicked off of that. So, they finished race under caution there. The restarts would be different. Lap cars would be on the inside row. Lead lap cars would be on the outside row on restart. So that would be interesting. But that's some stuff that we'll see. But, we'll just have to wait and kind of see how that works out, and we even saw the drivers kind of felt 50-50 on it. So Taylor Butcher-Benjamin would have liked another lap to try to get that lead, get that win. But Kyle Wellman brought up a good point. That just turns everyone crazy. So the drivers might be 50-50 there. Who knows what the rule book might turn into? Or hey, weigh in on the comments. Tell us what you'd want to see as a fan. That's all it takes. If all the fans want something and half the drivers want something, I think that kind of leans leans the rule book to sway a certain way. So we'll see what the majority does. Voting time's coming up. November's coming up, so get your votes in.
Yeah, get your votes in. We always want to hear what our fans have to say. Reach out to us on social media. Find us on Facebook. Find us. Leave a comment on YouTube. Leave a comment on Twitch. Let us know what you want to see, what you think we're doing great, what you think we can work on a little bit more. We always want to hear that feedback. We want to make these productions better and better every week. We want to hear what you say so we can make the experience for the viewers better. And we hope that you were able to find that cold one and crack it open. And you saw a little bit of everything tonight here at North Wilkesboro. We saw a long green flag run. We saw some chaotic restarts. We saw some spins, some action. We saw, tire management, and we saw different lines. We saw weather playing a factor. So quite the full book right here tonight at this race. I mean, we saw a little bit of everything, which definitely makes a good show and gives us a lot to talk about up here in the booth. And like I said, find us on YouTube, subscribe, find us on Facebook, like us, follow us. We love having the support of our fans, and we want to hear some feedback. And once again, go to drsquatch.com. That's Dr. Squatch Soaps. Use the promo code TOPFLIGHT and get 20% off your next order. That's an e-racing TV exclusive deal, I believe. So that's one of the benefits of being a fan of e-racing TV. We give you little hookups like that, because we're your buddy, and we want you to smell good. We don't want you using mommy's soap anymore. So for our man behind the curtain, Jeff Shrewsbury, and Jason Taylor up here in the booth with me, we want to thank you so much for watching e-racing TV, whether it be on Pride Outdoor Network or Amazon TV or Roku TV or YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Any single one of the platforms we broadcast on. Thank you so much for watching us. Again, for Jason Anderson and Jeff Shrewsbury, I am Steve Roswick. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week from the Lanier Speedway in Georgia. Have a good night, and we'll see you then.
I gotta pee though.
After you turn it over to Jeff.
So don't go pee right now.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Top Flight Computer Series. This is Race 1. We're here at USA. Your broadcast team is ready to call the action here. We got Jeff Ward, prior Dr. Squatch Series champion. He's going to be out of Fairdale, Kentucky. We got the champ. He's going to be covering driver interviews and bringing guys up into the booth, whether they're happy, sad, or mad, to tell their side of the story. He'll be covering the action with us. And, of course, we got the race play-by-play master, Matt Ridgway. He's out of Troutman, North Carolina. Probably had to go to the bathroom, but when he gets back, we'll check in with him. I'm your race analyst, Jason Anderson. J Money in the house. I'll be giving you all the deets as far as speeds, gaps, how good these drivers have been in the past, and what they're doing on the track now. And, of course, race rules. So I'm pretty much your Larry Mack, for those of you who follow that awesome source of information. Let's see. So, Matt, are you still with us here, good buddy?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, I'll hand it over to you as we get ready to go into tonight's pre-race info.
Well, like you said, I'm Matt Ridgway. Normally I'm a driver here in SESRA, but we've been friends for a long time, and you asked me if I wanted to help out with broadcast, and I obliged, and then somehow along the lines I became the play-by-play guy. So, not a professional, but I'll do the best I can. I've never been afraid of a challenge, so here goes nothing, right?
Yeah, you got it. You're going to do good.
Yeah, so we got 30 laps here tonight. These dirt street stock cars for our first race of the Dirt to Talladega series presented by Top Flight Computers. We appreciate those guys. They've done a lot of work with us in the past, and always good to see us continue our relationship in some aspect with those guys. But looking forward to a lot of fun for this season. Looking forward to a lot of fun tonight. Most of these guys, I know Jeff's got a couple of in-depth interviews with some guys coming up. But from what we're hearing is most of these guys are not dirt racers. We've got some guys that are, so look for them to be factors tonight. But a lot of these guys, like I think Joseph Tice,